sandwich boards. I said, could I put an open house sign on the front lawn or one at the corner just for now and just talk to you for a couple hours and just see who comes by on the way home? Guess what happened at 6 o'clock? I sold it. I didn't even send the paperwork in to get it broker loaded sort of thing.
Yeah.
So how many people would even think of doing that? But I was a veteran at the time, and I just thought, if this hits the market, it's gone.
Yeah.
Right? We used to have dual agency back then, so you know the conflicts we have now are something to be very careful about. Make sure you do it right and all that. But I just said to her, I asked her, is it okay? She said, yeah. Somebody came in. Oh, how much? Oh, yeah. And I said, yeah, you can write it up right now. I wrote it up at the kitchen table. How many of you would be upset with yourself if you listed it at 4 and sold it at 6? And it sold over list, by the way. So I did my job for my client too, right? Okay, so you got to think outside the box a little bit. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I didn't even get any leads. I was already closing quick, and I didn't do another open house, or that was it. But that doesn't happen all the time, does it, gang?
No.
So would you like some ingredients?
Yes.
So what did I say was the most important thing again?
Oh, saleable property.
Yeah, saleable listing, make sure it's priced right. I said that already, yes? If you have time, so I mean, if it's like, you know it's a hot market, I would just do an open house like right now. I would just, see if there's walk-ins. But if you want to get more leads, and if it's not like a hot market, and you think we're going to schedule an open house for not, see, when we had print advertising, we had to get our open house ad in by Thursday at 11 a.m. for the next weekend, not the coming weekend, but like 10 days later. The deadline was always set 9 days before, 9 or 10 days before. You may have some of that on some online publications, but probably not. You can probably go to realtor.ca, post your open house, and it'll be up there immediately for Saturday. You could do it today for this Saturday. You could do it on your website for this Saturday. What I'm getting at is, if you can advertise a lot, it'll help you to get more traffic. I don't know how many realtors I talk to, they'll say, I did an open house. I go, how many people did you get through? And they say, none. I'll go, did you advertise? Well, no. What did you do? Well, I put a sign on the front lawn. Well, you got to advertise on Kijiji, Craigslist, realtor.ca, send a postcard out to all the neighbors, maybe do a voice broadcast, set it up. I said realtor.ca. I mean, you should do everything you can to get lots of traffic. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Most realtors just put a sign on and they sit there, and then they say they hate open houses.
Yeah.
Because nobody came. So you need to advertise a lot. The same advertising you do to market the listing, you should do to market the open house. All right? Mm-hmm. Now we need the right atmosphere. What do you think would help the home have the right atmosphere?
Smell.
Smell is a good one. So a couple of side notes you guys want to write on the left again. So you want to make sure it smells good. How can you make it smell good? If they're smokers, or a lot of people nowadays, they smoke, or they smoke all kinds of stuff. That's what I was trying to get at. So it could have these stinky smells, skunky smell, right? If it's bad, I'd tell them to get a commercial cleaner in and scrub everything. When next week when I show you how to get a listing, you're going to actually do a consultation after the listing to help them make the home more showable for the open house. I'll teach you how to do that next week. But just a little heads up, if it's in rough shape smell-wise, then they're going to have to do something about that. If it's just a minor thing, like pets, and you can just kind of smell it. Now see, if you're a pet owner or a smoker, you can't smell that stuff to the same level of a lot of people that are going to see the house. But how could we get rid of a small smell? We can tell that you can smell the kitty litter or something. Yeah. I know, clean the kitty. But what else? When you're doing the open house, how could you make it smell better?
Febreze and candles.
Febreze and candles, but some people don't like perfume, so
Maybe
it's kind of a catch there.
Bake something.
Hey?
Bake something.
Put that one down. Put that one down, guys. All right. So you just grab some Pillsbury whatever, or warm up some muffins or whatever, and turn on the oven, and you'd be surprised how the room can smell so different compared to, So that's one of the best ways. Then you got some muffins to take out and give them some if you want. It's up to you though. But you got to find something. You could use perfume type stuff, or maybe there's unscented stuff that just kind of masks that smell or something. But if it's really bad, they're gonna have to clean it. What else gives the right atmosphere for a open house? So it smells good. Cleanliness.
Of the entire house.
Yeah, make sure it's clean. Make sure the clutter is put away.
Lighting,
clutter. Hey,
lighting,
lighting, yeah, lighting's good.
Staging.
Yeah, and you could, and that's a good one you mentioned, because you could let them know how to stage the house with some tips. Or if it's a home that's vacant or a home that's an upper end home, they may hire a staging company.
Yeah.
But just to let them know, like what I always say is after we list the property, then we start telling them what they need to take out of the house or move around or clean up or empty the closet or whatever. We don't do it before we list it, just so you know. We might comment briefly on a few things, but we do it after where we actually have a list of things they need to do. Not before, but I'll tell you that next week anyways. The right atmosphere, what do you think about
music.
this? Yeah, you can have quiet music, yeah. Like elevator music or something, but nothing too loud. Nothing offensive, you know, somebody's got some colorful metaphor rap music on, you know, it doesn't work.
Maybe something to offer people coming in, like
Yeah,
coffee or
and I'm gonna get into some of that right away. Keep taking good notes, but do you think the sellers should be there or not?
No.
No.
Okay, so you should ask the sellers to leave. What if they say they want to stay? What do you do?
Kick them out.
No, they won't leave.
Kick 'em off.
They won't leave. Even if, you know,
Open house cancel.
can't open house cancel, write that down.
Yeah?
Do not do an open house with sellers there, ever. Tell them, nope, we're not doing it, you gotta leave. Well, I don't want to leave. Well, I'm not doing an open house then. Simple as that. Don't, ever. Why? What do you think? Sellers are trying to sell the house then. They get in the way. They start saying, if you buy the house, I'll give you this, I'll give you that. You know, and buyers, the biggest reason why the seller shouldn't be there, if you want to make a note of this, is because the buyers will feel uncomfortable. They will not walk into a bedroom. They will not open a closet. They will come in and walk in a bit, and they'll go, okay, I've seen enough, and they'll leave. They'll say, okay, I'm good, let's go. Because the buyers are uncomfortable. So take some good notes there. So you need to master retail sales to some degree, okay, gang? You need to master retail sales. So, oh, we're doing good. And retail sales, anybody ever did retail sales? You know, if you're a pushy salesperson, it doesn't work. If you're really hovering over the people when they say, I'm just looking, that doesn't work. But the catch for us is we still have to see what they're doing in our open house. You can't just let them go and they go into the bedrooms and do whatever. You have to be with them.
Yeah.
That's the professional thing to do. If it's vacant, I understand, but still, you know, I had one realtor, she called me, and she, you know, in my class, she says, I'm at a vacant open house, and I just thought I could let people come in, you know? And she said, so I let, you know, a couple people came in, another couple came, and I just said, look around, come back and talk to me here at the kitchen. And about half hour into my open house, a guy comes up to me and he says, did you know there's another realtor upstairs in the bedroom that's handing out his business cards?
Oh.
And she said, what? And she didn't know who he was or nothing. It wasn't like he was with her already. And she told me, and I said, well, what did you do? And she goes, well, I kicked him out. And I said, well, yeah. I said, you take his name and number and tell your broker. Like, who does that? I've been in real estate 27 years. I've heard everything now. Oh, I shouldn't say that because next week I'll hear something else. It's insane the stuff that people will do. Not only people, buyers, sellers, but even realtors. It's crazy, right? So, anyways, you gotta let somebody in. If a couple shows up, and that's all that shows up, you just say, "Come on in," and I'll tell you what you do when they come in. But you should close the door, and you should lock it, because you got to leave the front. You got to go. In fact, why don't you make a note of this? Make yourself a little sign, kind of a laminated sign, maybe a horizontal one. Punch a couple holes in it. Put a little loop here, type thing to hang on the door. Okay, so make a note that you're going to make a sign for your open houses. And it'll just say, whatever dialogue you want to put on there, but the bottom line is you're just saying, and presently, I'll be with you shortly. I'm just showing someone for the open house. I'll be right back. Something like that. Be right back, just showing the first group, or just showing a group the house. There's a good one. I'll be right back. I'm just showing the group the house. And then put open house underneath, okay? So you put it, hang it, close the door, lock it. Now, when people are newer, or when they don't quite get this build a business idea, they think that, oh no, I don't want to lose anybody, or I might upset somebody. I don't want to even worry about that. You're being professional. If somebody doesn't understand it, if you open the door and there's a guy standing there, I'll be sitting here for 10 minutes. And I say, oh, I'm done now, so you can come in, right? well, I can't believe you did this, you know, you made me sit here and wait. Well, listen, if I listed your house, I would treat your house the same way. I would just bring in 2 people at a time, make sure nobody steals anything. Make sense? I mean, I would tell them, and they'd go, oh, that makes sense. So when I list your house, I'll treat it the same. So you want, professionalism goes a long way. Some people, common sense is out the window. They're upset, and then you tell them something, and then common sense, and they go, oh, yeah, that makes sense. You know? So, now, you have the people waiting. Now, I remember one time I did that. I opened the door, and there was 3 groups, or couples, but they're 2, you know, together. I said, how are you all doing? They said, great. They were having a blast just talking to each other. And one guy says, there was another guy that was here. He went walking past us, tried the door, it was locked. He swore and he left. And I went, it's a good thing I had it locked. Didn't want that guy coming in. And they all laughed. And I said, okay, next. Now, if it's -30, -20, and like today, then maybe you don't do that open house on that day, or you may have a buffer zone sort of thing. You know how you can have an attached garage in the front?
Yeah.
And you could have a mortgage broker help you out. And you could say, you know, if it's cold, everyone can go in the garage. The mortgage broker may be talking to a few people. Then you come and say, hey, next. But you can't let a whole bunch of people in when there's a bunch of valuables or just generally a house. It's not vacant, of course, right? And when they get in, here's a couple of tips for you. You could try the survey approach. And that's where we actually don't even say the price. Now, before you say they're already going to know the price, I'm not worried about that. I don't care. I'm just going to have them come in and I'm going to say, listen, I was talking to my clients here, and they wanted to know if I would do a survey with everybody that came in. So I was wondering if you don't mind participating. I have a little questionnaire here. Maybe you could tell us what you think the house is worth. And then I'll give you a highlight sheet with the price, and it's just have a little fun with that. Is that okay?
Yeah.
And almost all the time they say what?
Yeah.
Sure. You know, you get that one guy again. If he says no, I don't want to, then say no problem. Just sign in here and have a registration book right there. Okay, have everybody sign in. Just say sign in right here. What if he says I'm not signing anything?
Don't let him in.
I can't show you the house. I just want to see it. I'm not showing you the house until you sign your name and number. And if he gets a little bit boisterous, then ask him to leave. That's the best thing to do. But it's up to you. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Okay. I had no problem saying to a guy one time, I'm not showing you the house. You can leave now. Because he was just a real, I don't want to say the word, but he was that. He was bad. Right? So it's up to you. Back on the survey approach. Here's what you should do. You should go buy yourself 5 clipboards. Okay? So 5 clipboards. And you should make yourselves a questionnaire on your company letterhead. And on the letterhead, come up with maybe 5 questions that they're going to answer. Okay? And we'll talk about the questions in a second. But at the bottom of that page, you should put a place for their name, their phone number, and if they're working with a realtor, yes or no, and the realtor's name. Okay, so when you finish writing that down, just put up your hand. And I'll say it one more time for you. Get yourself a registration book, and get yourself 5 clipboards, and get a company letterhead, maybe 5 questions that they can answer, and underneath, place for their name, phone number, and if they're working with a realtor, yes or no, and the realtor's name.
Can you also have the email in there, you think?
What's that?
Should you also have the
Yeah, if you can fit the email, that's fine too. That's fine. Phone number for sure. You're just going to phone them. Based on how emails work, definitely phone number, email maybe, never just email and no phone number, always phone number. Because when you email people, you're not going to get anything. Pretty well 100% of the time. Okay, so you're going to buy how many clipboards?
5.
Yeah, so if you don't get 5 right away, get 3 at least. Or 4. And you're going to put company letterhead on there with how many questions?
5.
And what's across the bottom? Name, phone number.
Working with the realtor or not?
Are you working with a realtor, yes or no, so they can check a box, and if it says yes, then who's the realtor's name?
Yeah.
So you can follow up with the realtor. If they're working with a realtor, you can phone them and say your buyers were here. Can you check with them to see if they're interested? Maybe they want to write an offer, right? Isn't that right?
Right.
Good, okay. So the questions, first 4 can be whatever you want. But the 5th one should be asking the people how much they think the house is worth, or how much they think it's listed for. Okay? Aren't you glad you got a blank piece of paper to the left?
Yes.
You know, you'll never lose that information because it's in your manual now. It's so valuable for you. So, what was the 5th question?
How much do you think the house is worth?
Yeah, how much do you think it's worth? How much do you think it's listed for? Stuff like that. Okay, any idea what the first 4 questions could be? Because it's irrelevant what they are, but we can't just put weird questions.
Favorite feature of the house?
There you go, yeah, you can put the first one could be what's your favorite feature or favorite part of the house? Then maybe the next one's what's the worst part? Try
And
that.
then you could also do like an overall rating and then write good, bad, whatever.
Yeah, you could, but if you just ask 5 questions, a couple other questions could be, what do you feel is the best feature of the neighborhood driving in, and what do you think is the worst feature? So, first 4 questions are really not a big deal, but they need to be reasonable questions. So I'll say what you guys kind of said, okay? So it would be a company letterhead, your name, your logo. You're gonna keep them, by the way. Well, you won't be keeping them for too long, possibly. But the people that fill them out are not keeping them. You're keeping them, okay? And then it says, first question, what's the best feature of the house? They put kitchen, it's nice and big. What's the worst feature, right? Not enough bathrooms. What's the best feature of the neighborhood? Beautiful trees. What's the worst feature? Too much traffic or whatever. And then how much do you think the house is worth, or how much do you think it's listed for? And they put 500,000, let's say. And then they put when they're checking off stuff, they automatically just put their name most of the time and their phone number and maybe their email, and then they'll check off if they're working with a realtor or not. And then most of the time they'll do that for you. If they hand it in to you and it's not completed on the bottom, I want you to do this. I want you, when they hand it in, I want you to do it exactly the way I'm doing it. Watch up here. Everybody watching? So they hand it in, you look, oh, you didn't finish the bottom here. See how I did that? Thank you. Oh, you didn't finish the bottom here. Finish the bottom there. I just said, finish, you know what I mean? I don't go and go, oh, I guess they didn't want to do it. No, I say, oh, you didn't complete it, or you didn't finish it. Can you finish that, please? Here, put it in the bottom part there. You'll get more names, numbers, and then when they hand it back, and they don't check off the realtor, just say, are you working with a realtor? And they go, yeah. Some of them just say it, and they're not. So you go, okay, yes. And what's their name? Because I can follow up with them. And then they'll say, I don't know their name. Oh, okay. You sure? Now, you don't want to call them liars, but you say, oh, if you don't know their name, did you sign a buyer's agreement with them? Right? Now, you got their name, you got their number. They work with a realtor. They don't know his name. They didn't sign buyer agency. So you'll say to them, listen, since you are not one of their clients or you haven't hired them, I'll follow up with you a little later. Fair enough? And they go, sure, yeah, that's fine. Okay? Remember, if they don't want to do the survey, they got to sign in the registration book. Where do you get those? Anybody know? Real estate boards used to have stores. I used to go to the store quite often, and they used to be able to buy this nice book. It said open house, flip it open, and it had, like 4 tear-off sheets on each side. And what you do is when you open that book, on the first sheet, you got to put a fake name in there. Make a note of that. You got to put your cousin's name or something. Make sure it's not your last name, so it can't be your brother, right, or your spouse. But you put a name in there, and you fill in all the blanks. So make a note of that, okay? And if you don't, there'll be people that just think that they don't have to fill it in, or if a guy goes and writes his name but no phone number and he leaves, when he leaves, put a fake phone number in there. People are kind of like cattle in the sense that whatever the last person did, the next person will probably do. So don't leave it blank, don't fill it in with something. And if it looks kind of sketchy and all that, flip the page and start a new one. And any ideas again where you could get an open house registration book for realtors?
Grab store.
Hey?
Grab store.
Yeah, they have a store?
Yeah.
Oh, they do, hey? Yeah, a lot of the other stores are gone now. Fraser Valley's gone, Edmonton's gone, Winnipeg's gone. Calgary still has one, great, we'll buy one there. I was gonna say if there was no store, you could probably buy it online pretty easy, would you agree?
Mm-hmm.
So get yourself a registration book, do the survey approach, and after you've tried to remember how the top part says, do a saleable property price, right, means you're trying to sell it. And after that, being set up and everything, then you gotta focus on getting leads. There's a question you wanna ask people when you're showing them around. You don't say it to them right away. Let's go and show you around the house, right? And you don't get in their way, but you're still with them. So I'm gonna take you around the house. Let me know if you have any questions. So here, as you can see, here's the kitchen. Just make your way around, and then we'll head down the hall. Okay? I'll go okay, and then you're heading down the hall, and also you say, hey, I'm just curious, folks. Do you own your own home or are you renting? And if they say they own their own home, then who are you talking to?
Listing.
Sellers. They say they're renting, who are you talking to?
Buyers.
Buyers. So it's good to know, yes? In fact, today I'm going to give you a thing to be able to capture all your leads on the phone. It's called a call form. And question number 6 is, do you own your own home or are you renting? There is a ton of realtors that will think they have a buyer lead, and they will literally meet people at properties or drive people around or show them a bunch of different properties for weeks, even months on end. And when it comes time to write an offer, they've done all this work, and then the buyer/seller, the realtor doesn't know this, says, no, we can't, right? We have to sell our house first. And they're like, oh, why didn't you tell me before? Well, it's not up to them to tell you. It's up to you to what? Ask. And when should you ask? In the beginning, right away, right? Do you own your own home or you're renting? You own our own home. Oh, good. Okay, well, let's continue to show you around the house. And then, you know what? When you're finished, give them one of those muffins, take the survey, and then mention to them, I'm going to follow up probably later today. And I'll give you a call, and we can see maybe if you want a valuation of your home, or we can talk about your plans, fair enough. And they might go, yeah, sure, give us a call. They might say, no, don't bother for a while, and you'll say, I'll follow up with you in the near future or something. So focus on that. Sounds good?
Yes.
But I would follow up immediately if I were you guys. I would say that as soon as there's no traffic in my open house, instead of just sitting there staring at the walls, I'd probably start following up with the people that already came. Because what's going to happen is some of them are going to go to the next open house. And if you're already either in their voicemail or talk to them while they're driving there, that's more proactiveness than most realtors. But if you don't, and you wait 2 days, you're going to call and they're going to say, oh no, we're working with the realtor we went and saw after you. And you're going to go, oh, I should have called them right away. Okay, so remember, number 1 says saleable property, number 10 says encourage all offers. So I'm not saying that we should be writing lowball offers. I'm saying that we should encourage offers. Any offer is better than no offer unless it's way too low. All right? So try to get an offer from your open house. So let me just comment on the reactive ways or marketing ways to generate leads that we're going to talk about after lunch. I'm going to tell you what they are. I'm not going to go into them until after lunch. And I'm going to give you some questions to ask yourself or to ponder over the lunch break. Sounds good?
Yes.
And then, we'll be about 10 minutes.
Can we keep going until the pizza comes?
Sure, yeah, well, we'll be at least,
Yeah,
how long do
they're
you
gonna
think
let
it'll
us
be? Well,
It should be 10-15 minutes.
yeah, I'll be done in about
Yeah.
10-15 minutes here.
But they're gonna let us know,
Yeah,
so we don't waste
sounds
time.
good. So, there was 2 methods to generate leads, yes?
Yes.
Do you remember what they were?
Proactive.
Proactive and?
Reactive.
Yeah, and that answer was up there for you. Reactive. That's a reaction to your marketing. It's just my way of saying it. It's not anything specific. It's just I came up with that. I thought proactive, reactive, which means time and effort, or marketing, budgeting, and investing money. Okay? Now, which one do you think you should do? Both. Right? And eventually you want to just do the reactive or the marketing side and just do proactive when you feel like it or when you have to do it for your clients. But your business should always be up and running with consistent business coming in, leads coming in, and even if you're on holidays. Like, how many of you like to make money when you're on holidays? You know, I'll give you a couple of different mindsets. One mindset was I shared an office with a guy decades ago. Learned a lot from this fella. And when he got a listing, he did maximum marketing. He put it out there big time. You know, even his signs look pretty cool and stuff like that, but everything. And if he wasn't available, he had a full-time assistant, licensed, that could handle things for him. And if she wasn't available, if he was like on holidays, he had another realtor that would always follow up on any of the things that are going on in his business and stuff like that. So his business was functioning properly. That's what I'm trying to get at. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So his attitude was do the best he can for his clients, but at the same time have the time of his life being a realtor. So in our office, when I shared with him, there was 2 big whiteboards. I think I may have told you this before. And they had the numbers 1 to 25 on each of them. And his goal is to fill the board up with listings, and that his reward would be when he fills up the board, he can go on holidays. So every time he got it full, he would go away for 2-3 weeks. And then when he came back, he would see if some stuff sold or if it was pending, and he'd say, okay, I got to get 4 or 5 more listings, then I can leave again. And that's how he did his business, okay? So, you know, he still was there working his business, you know, quite a bit, but he did take a lot of holidays, but he did it that way. And then I see another realtor where he went and got 2 listings, and his wife and him had planned a holiday, but his listings didn't sell before he went on holidays. And he's told his wife, we can't go because I haven't sold my listings. So which one had an entrepreneur mindset?
First
First
one.
one.
Yeah, which one had the job mentality?
Second.
Right. And so this other guy's doing 100 deals a year, and the other one is barely doing 10. So you have to pick which one you want to be right now. You don't have to tell me, you don't have to, you know, even if you're brand new, you got to think, okay, are you saying that my job is to book 3 listing appointments a week, try to get 5 or 10 listings as quick as I can? Well, I said 8. I think you said 8 on your goal or reward, yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
And what are you supposed to do when the class is over?
Go on.
Go on a holiday or take a break. And if you do that, you're going to be better at helping your clients because you're going to have the systems in place, plus you're going to have the time of your life. What do you say? Does that sound good?
Yes.
So this part here is the most important thing for you because you want to attract business, you want to get repeat business, you want to get a lot of listings, and top producers do this. They only do 3 things. You want to write it down if you want. The top producers only do 3 things. They go on listing appointments or they go on appointments. And they keep deals together. Number 1 is they go on appointments. Number 2 is they keep deals together. And number 3 is they go on holidays. So you guys tell me, what are the 3 things a top producer does once his business is set up, his or hers?
Go on appointments, keep deals together, go on vacation.
So go on appointments, keep deals together, go on holidays. It doesn't say build your website. It doesn't say any administration at all. So who's doing the administration when a top producer has his business built? Hers.
The assistant.
The assistant, executive assistant, licensed. Who's covering for him when he's gone? You might have a couple buyer agents that might even still be able to do some listing appointments for him. Now, most of you are in the position, not in the position to be there yet, so I get that. But it'd be nice to have your mind saying, I'm going to be like that someday, so let's start working towards it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Someday, I'm going to be carrying 15 listings. I need vacations. I need to have my systems in place, and I'll need an assistant someday. And let's point in that direction. But that's not what's going to happen today. Today, probably you have to go back to what we taught in lesson 2. You're going to have to do this. What is it? And this. Get involved in the community. Do open houses. And then every time you get a commission check, take 25% after taxes, put it into this. From your commission checks, from your business goes back into your business. How much again?
25%. 25%. 25%.
25%. You're missing it. I said 25% after taxes.
taxes.
How much?
25% after taxes.
Exactly. You can't take 25% into your business and not pay your taxes. You'll run into lots of issues. Lots. Okay? So, you put 25%, and you know, I probably bring that up again when we talk about finances in week 7, but it would have been a good thing for you to write down. Would you agree?
Yes.
Yeah, so you put how much back into your business?
25%.
After taxes. And let me continue on now. And half of that goes into this, marketing. So I'll say it again for you. You ready?
Yeah.
You put 25% of every commission check after taxes back into your business, and half of that goes into marketing. If that's what you wrote down, you're right on track. So you should put how much?
25%.
After taxes back into your
Business.
right. Half of that goes to, what is the other half for?
Marketing?
No, that's what
Business for
that business marketing. What's the other half for?
Systems?
It's to pay your bills,
Well,
your business bills. So give me 3 examples of bills you get being a realtor.
Your office,
Office,
your
Fees.
crab fees.
Crab.
Make a piece.
RECA, and you can tell me 10 more if you want, but I just want to make sure you're on the same page as me. You need to put 25% of every commission check after taxes back into your business, and half of it goes into marketing, and the other half is to pay your bills. Make sense?
Yeah.
So I'll talk about it again in a few lessons. So what you should do is you should have, make a note of this. This is from lesson 7. Remember I told you that we have a theme for each week, but I don't just hold back a bunch of information until then. I give you some along the way. So how many of you are realtors now? All of you, right? And so you're all business owners, yes?
Yes.
So you need to open up a business account. So mark that down. Okay? So now, make sure you're writing this down. From your business account, you need 2 savings. Make a note of that. And then you also need a personal bank account and 2 savings. How much does it cost to get a savings account?
Nothing.
Business accounts, mine's what, $72 a month. It's not cheap, but it's not crazy. Visa debit, personal account, I don't know what they cost, but they cost something, $20 or something. Okay? That depends, you know, whatever bank you're
You
at.
said 2 savings accounts?
So for each account, 2 savings accounts. Okay? So everyone's got that. So you know, if you did a circle, you'd put business account and a line business savings and a line business savings. Then over here, circle, maybe it says personal account, like a Visa debit or something. And then personal savings 1 and personal savings 2. Okay, so when you get a check, most companies do direct electronic transfer to your account, right? And which account should it go into? Your business. And automatically, you should put aside a certain amount in the first savings for what?
For yourself. Oh, for.
Okay, so I said, in your business account, every commission, you should put 25% back into your business after.
Taxes.
So what do you think the first savings is for?
Taxes.
Write that down. So I would do it like this. This is so important. I don't think I've taught it enough in the past. That's why I'm probably doing that now. But you go business, check, and then business savings, and business savings, and then personal check, and then personal savings, and personal savings. So when you have that, put up your hand.
What do you mean by personal check?
I'll get to that in a second. I'll just finish the business one first.
Personal.
Okay. So you get a EFT, maybe it might be called,
Yes.
electrical fund transfer. From your commission check goes into your savings. Now the company might take their split or their expense, you know, their stuff off, you know. They may not. They may expect you to get your money and then pay whatever your thing is, but you know what I mean. Okay? So whatever money goes into here, how much should we put into here for taxes?
25.
How much?
25.
25% after tax.
After
Okay, at least put 20%. Somebody said 25% after what? I missed that part.
No.
Oh, okay. I heard something about something after. But you should put aside, you should, in Canada, it's crazy, you probably should put away 30%. They're gonna raise the taxes up to 33%.
Yeah.
Like you make 10 grand, that government wants $3,300. The good news is we're still able to write off stuff. But they're changing a lot of it. But I don't wanna get into that. I'm just saying, if you put